Hey guys.
All right, folks, so we're here today because Professor Xavier, aka Giannis, I think his last name is pronounced Papadopoulos. That's
It reminds me of the soccer player.
There's a soccer player named Papadopoulos?
No, it's Socrates.
Socrates was Brazilian though.
No.
There's a Greek guy named Socrates.
There's a Greek defender
Oh, talk about a pun.
for Arsenal who.
There's one. Is there an Aristotle's? No?
No.
No? There's no Aristotle's?
No. It's Socrates.
But there was a Brazilian guy named Socrates back in the 80s. He was badass, man. He used to wear one of those sweatbands that you think turtles wear. He used to wear one of those. He played like he had curly hair.
Yeah.
Like not a mullet, but he had curly hair, and he would wear one of those. He was absolutely badass.
He's really good in FIFA.
Who?
Socrates.
The Brazilian one
Yeah.
or the Greek one? I mean, you gotta like let me know
Both,
which one.
both of them are. Both of them are
good. And there's no Aristotle's playing soccer. I find that kind of impressive. That Aristotle is like a huge philosopher. Nobody names their kid Aristotle's. Man, if I could go back in time, maybe we should have named you Aristotle's. Well, we named you Jesus.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, I think. It kind of gives me a bye. Because when I get, I'm assuming I'm going to get to heaven. It's not going to happen. But if I get there and they say, you said the name of the Lord in vain like 100 times. And I was like, no, I was referring to my son. Like, wow, are you that self-centered that you think every time I say Jesus, I'm talking about you? No. I'm not talking about the Son of God. I'm talking about my own son.
And then he's going to send you down for back talking.
Listen, I don't think I'm even going to make it up there, so let's face the facts. I think my best hope is...
You're going to have to press the firefighter button on the elevator.
Oh, what, to hold the elevator up? So I stay in purgatory? I stay like in the middle? All right, maybe Professor Xavier will come and save me.
Yeah.
You never know. He has special powers. And one of his special powers is he has a cotton candy-like voice. I mentioned that in my album review about this album.
I think it's the Oikos.
Wow, so you think the Oikos oils up his vocal cords to the point where his voice sounds like clouds of cotton candy?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Also the Greek baths, right?
Yeah.
Like he perhaps partakes in Greek baths, and that perhaps also increases his vocal prowess. All right. On that note, we're here to check From Hell with Love from Beast in Black. By the way, they released this video on Valentine's Day.
So
see the pun there? From Hell with Love on Valentine's Day? You know what I mean? They're spreading the love, if you will. From hell, but love nevertheless. All right, by the way, this album, before I forget, I did an album review. This album is absolutely incredible. It has, I'm going to say once again, I said this during my review, and I'm going to say once again, this album has the best ballad of 2019. Ooh. The best metal ballad of 2019 is in this record. This record is absolutely magnificent. It's a pure joy. Clouds of cotton candy. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Would it be funny if you tripped on one of those stones?
Here I am, where all this began.
All right, I gotta say something right away. First of all, I love the old school rocking of the guitar back and forth, which reminds me, by the way, Whitesnake has a new album coming out this year. I know it has nothing to do with this video, but it has to do with that old school style of rocking the guitar. Yeah. It reminds me of Whitesnake, and they have a new album coming out. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Whitesnake.
The synthesizer, I mean, this so far this new album has sounded like an old school type of 80s.
Yeah, there's a whole... Okay, so let me tell you this. Let me say one more thing, and then let's get into that. Because I want to say this. First, I wanted to talk about what I just said about the rocking of the guitar back and forth. I absolutely love that. By the way, they picked kind of a husky, kind of like Conan the Barbarian kind of guy. Yeah. And then it was a younger version of Nora from Battle Beast, it looked like, that was there. But anyways, it's neither here or there. But I figured that if you're going to pick a Conan the Barbarian kind of guy, you should perhaps pick a more... stronger built looking guy. This guy looked like he's been feasting on... Yeah, but this guy looks like he's been feasting on freaking oikos before the video shoot. It was like the Cookie Monster, but with oikos. I mean...
Maybe this guy saw Giannis, he's like, oh, this guy has amazing vocals because he eats oikos.
Yeah, perhaps that was what happened. All right, so let's move on from those shenanigans and let's get into the song. When I did this album review, one of the things that came across to me, yes, the synthesizer sound, it really had that 80s vibe to it, that ABBA, but also late 80s, like disco, has a little bit of disco, no, not disco from the 80s, disco was from the 70s, but it has a little bit of that 80s vibe to it, like that Eurovision vibe to it, if you will.
That's exactly what it reminds me of.
But there's another thing that I noticed throughout the record that had also that same 80s vibe, and that was the sound of the drums. They used a little bit of the electronic sounding drums, like gives like it doesn't give you a natural drum sound at all. Back in the 80s, it was really popular in bands such as Fine Young Cannibals, which I showed you a couple of videos. We didn't do a reaction video. I just popped them because I wanted him to listen to Johnny. I'm sorry. The dude dancing. That guy dances almost as bad as the dude from Midnight Oil. There's almost as much dick sucking in those videos as Midnight Oil.
You know what's funny though? You've only shown me two.
I showed you She Drives Me Crazy.
Okay, but
I showed you Johnny.
You've only shown me two bands from like out of recording, right?
Yeah.
You showed me the
Midnight Oil,
and that one.
And Funny and Cannibals.
Somehow those both bands.
By the way, the two guitar players on Funny and Cannibals, there's perhaps the worst dancing I've ever seen on video.
I was about to get to that. The two bands you showed me are the two bands that have the worst choreographer for the dancing.
I know, like, and there's one part that both go down on their knees, which I'm not quite sure what they're trying to imply, but
the way they
neither here nor there.
The guitar player's playing like,
I know, it's like he's having a stroke. But anyways, the reason why I showed you those videos because when I was recording before I recorded the review for this album, I listened to the album multiple times, and I found the sound of the drums to have that late 80s sound that a band like Fine Young Cannibals used to use, which they used to use these electronic drums. They looked like hexagons and they were flat. It didn't have like a, it's not the drum that we use. They're just flat. So when you hit them, so when you hit them, the sound doesn't make the same sound as the drum. It makes almost like an electronic sound. It makes like it makes a weird sound. They use that kind of a drum sound in a lot of their tracks throughout this record. So when I was listening to the record, I really like that because it adds to that 80s vibe that the record has.
They also have a weird thing they put on the trumpet to make it sound like a saxophone.
Not these guys.
No, Fine and Cannibal.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about them. So in the drum track of every single, not every single song, but in a lot of the songs on this record has that 80s style electronic drum, like that gives that pop, 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 gives that different sound. You know what I mean? And when I was listening to it, I really like it. And the first thing that came to my mind when I was listening to this album was Fine Young Cannibals. They used to use that same drum sound in a lot of their songs.
Is that why you showed it to me?
That's why I showed you, Johnny, I'm sorry.
And then you showed me the other one because we were going to do.
But let's say the guy has an incredible voice. The dude from Fine Young Cannibals. He didn't need oikos, but he did have a fine voice. I'm just saying. What are you going to say?
I think
she drives me.
I think there was some counterbalancing here, right? He ate the oikos, so he had a good voice, but the oikos didn't help his dance moves.
No, but the guy's English though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think English people are known for their dancing. They're known for a lot of things. Dancing, I don't think it's one of them. I just don't see... Like, when I think of great dancers, I normally think of Latino dancers, like from Argentina, doing I don't know, the salsa and doing the paso doble and that kind of stuff. It's, by the way, it sounds like a yogurt, but it's not. Paso doble.
Paso doble.
It sounds like a Greek yogurt. It's not. So going back to this song and going back to Beast in Black, and by the way, Janis's vocals on this track.
Yeah.
Was I right or was I right when I said that his voice sounds like clouds of cotton candy? The dude's voice could put out a fire. Like, you know when they have those fires like in California or in Portugal? Bring Janis and let him go like,
he started singing it and you had an out-of-body
oh my God.
You just sunk in your chair and then you
I'm not gonna lie.
For like...
I'm not going to lie. I know this is going to make things really awkward the next time we see him, which is going to be in Montreal. By the way, Beast in Black is playing at Montreal Heavy NTO, and we're going to be there with Oikos.
With Oikos.
With Oikos. We're going to be there with Oikos.
And tobacco.
You can't have tobacco. You're a minor. I have to bring the tobacco.
Obviously.
For him.
You're gonna... I'll carry the Oikos.
Never mind tobacco. I have a hookah. We can just bring a hookah. And
I think he wants to roll his own stuff.
But hookah is more cool because then we can pass it around. You know, like it's like a community thing. We can talk about metal and smoke hookah.
Is that going to be the interview?
Yeah.
I just can't be.
Wow, you know what? That would make a really good interview setting.
Then again, I have asthma, so I'm gonna bring a gas mask.
Yeah, maybe bring one of those gas masks. Anyways, where was I going with it? Oh, now I know where I was going with this. His voice absolutely kills me because he has a magnificent voice, like absolutely magnificent. I'm not gonna lie. I have a huge man crush on the dude that plays what's the name of the guy that never dies, the guy that dresses in red and cracks all the jokes. What's that superhero's name?
Deadpool.
What's the name of the actor?
Ryan Reynolds.
I have a huge man crush on Ryan Reynolds. I'm telling you, I've never given thought about homosexual tendencies, but Ryan Reynolds really pushes the envelope as far as I'm concerned. And if I ever am in a position, I'm tempted. I'm just going to put it out there. The guy really, I have a huge man crush on him. But Janis's vocals, holy shit. I don't want to say anymore because it'll make a very awkward meeting when we meet in Montreal, specifically in Montreal. You know what I mean? With all the oui, you know, all that French stuff going on there. Dude, the guy's voice is absolutely like words cannot describe. I tried to describe it in words, and the only thing I could come up with is cotton candy.
Literally 2 seconds into the video, you sink in your chair, you go off camera.
I mean, and I'm going to say this to you. One of the great things, this video has gone really long, but one of the great things about this album is his vocal performance throughout the album is not, he doesn't do the same thing over and over again. He changes his range depending on what the song calls for. So if the song calls for a certain style, he gives it a certain direction. If the song calls for something else, he changes ever so slightly just to give it a little bit of a different feel. He really goes with what, that tells you how good of a range he has, that he can do that just to give the song the perfect, exactly perfect vocals for that song. And like I said, this album has, in my opinion, you know, my mind could be changed down the road. We're still like in February, but up to now, I'm going to say this album has the best metal ballad of 2019. He doesn't kill it. He murders it. Like he absolutely destroys it. Yes.
This is going to make a weird interview in Montreal.
Well, perhaps. Nah, it is what it is. Listen, I'm not the kind of guy to hold back. I say what I feel, and I feel what I say. So I just let it all out there. The guy has an incredible voice. This band has an incredible sound. This album is absolutely magnificent. By the way, after 1 week of sales, it charted number 7 on the German Billboard charts. Number 7. 7. I mean, we're not talking about metal chart. We're talking about overall charts. 7. That's incredible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands in Germany. There's a lot of music in the world of music. Number 7. Incredible. That's a testament to how good the record is, how good the band is, how good the sound is. I really enjoy this record. This record was really enjoyable for me to do a review because with every song I was like, John.
These guys have their like pop. This new album in particular.
It's like a.
Because the last album wasn't popish.
this one has a little bit more, has more of that 80s vibe. The other one had a little bit of it, but not as much as this one. I feel like this album they brought all the stuff. Yeah, they pulled no punches. Let's put it that way. They really brought everything to the table. All right, guys, this is it for today. Come back tomorrow. We'll have more videos for you, and we'll promise we're not going to talk about Ryan Reynolds. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that Ryan Reynolds comment, but you know what?
All the English people that watch her.
I didn't say anything bad about the English.
Yeah, you said they can't dance.
Okay, that's not a bad thing. It's not like I said they had bad teeth. If I said they had bad teeth, that would be bad.
You're going to get a video.
True, but bad.
You're going to get a video of some guy from England dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah.
Well, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Our next reaction video.
All right, prove me wrong. See you guys.
See ya.
Take care.